Action!
Well, on Golfing World, we like to bring you interviews with the biggest stars in the game, and today is no exception. We've been joined by Ian Poulter. Ian, thanks for talking to us. Let's start with the Ryder Cup. Another great year, another Ryder Cup team, another win. But for you, another pick. Did you feel like you were guaranteed another pick for this team?
I felt I was in a good position, obviously, with previous performances. I knew I had to obviously go and play well. One being a pick, two with obviously, a decent record, and the guys wanting to take me down. Coming off little niggly injuries was frustrating. So yeah, I think there was a lot of build-up of pressure during that week.
Generally, in a Ryder Cup, what is it, do you think, that brings out the best in you in this format?
I just love the format. I love the fact of being part of the team. I love going head-to-head with somebody. I'm not sure why some of my best golf has come in Ryder Cups, but I'm pretty pleased that it's definitely come out.
This Ryder Cup, perhaps, I imagine, didn't live up to your expectations in terms of your individual performance. 2 half points. What was different for you at Gleneagles this year?
I knew I wasn't going to play all the matches, so that was different. But I was fine with that. I spoke to Paul previously. I knew going into the week I was going to be rested. Didn't happen on the course with Stevie G. I felt that we could go out there and do a good job. That didn't happen. It was a real shame. Obviously that was a big day for Stevie's first Ryder Cup, Gleneagles. I wanted to help him out, and I tried, but nothing would get going. He didn't get going, and obviously we got pretty heavily thumped.
So No Limits comes out after the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to bring out a book now?
I didn't initially want to do a book immediately. I said to RJ, I said, why do I want to do it now? I said, I've got so much golf left in me. And he said, well, it's been an incredible story to now. He said, from what happened at Medina, obviously that was the kick-off for the book. It was the calls were coming in for me to put stuff down on paper. And I said, it seems a bit early. So we discussed it for a number of weeks, and we'd had a number of conversations, and it seemed to make sense in the end to get it down. I guess it's been an interesting journey, and I've got to say it was a lot of fun doing it. It took a lot of time, but I enjoyed doing it, and I think it was right to get one out now. And
so I'm guessing 99% of it was written, and then you just waited till after Gleneagles to get.
It was all done. It was all done early in 2014. And then there was stuff added to it slowly as 2014 went on, and obviously, we was always going to do a sit down immediately after the Ryder Cup to get the last little chapter in.
And that last little chapter, as we know, has caused a few headlines. I just want to pick out a few things. So the talk about Tom Watson, not necessarily from the book, just from generally how you feel from playing in the Ryder Cup. From your perspective, and I suppose from Team Europe, how did you feel when you heard that Tom was chosen to be America captain this year?
Well, I obviously thought that's a big call. There were certain things that happened during the week that I found surprising. A couple of selections, which I said in the book, and leaving Keegan and Phil out on Saturday for me was a surprise, and it was a surprise to everybody.
So at Gleneagles, did you, the European team in general, or yourself, did you feel like there were perhaps problems in the American room?
Well, it wasn't a case of sensing whether they had problems. Phil Mickelson and Keegan Bradley didn't play Saturday, so there's a problem. You clearly know that. We all know that. They've played 5 matches and won 4. So, I don't understand why they wouldn't play. That's my opinion. It's not everybody's opinion, but that's just my one. And it wasn't really discussed too much. Certain players found it a slight surprise. And I'm sure, I haven't sat down and listened to the coverage. So I haven't listened to what the commentators were talking about, but I'm sure they were pretty surprised as well.
One comment that we know was picked up in the week by a commentator was Faldo's comments over Sergio. We all know that created a storm at the time. Why did you choose to touch on that in the book?
Because it was a disappointing comment. It was Ryder Cup week, obviously. It was a shame that he would say that, and I commented, and I feel it was right to say that. I think some of the players had lost the respect of Nick for saying such a comment at a bad time. I speak openly. I've been very open. I have no problem in that, and I'm only saying what other people have said anyway. So I found it a bit disrespectful to say that. I wasn't having a dig back at him. I was just saying I found it disrespectful, and I think some of the players found it disrespectful as well.
How did you find Faldo's captaincy in 2008?
Well, I've played 5, won 4. So you're asking me about the one that we lost. So, I don't, it didn't pan out very well for Nick, put it this way. So it's unfortunate. Someone who I grew up following an awful lot and admired, didn't have a good week at the Ryder Cup, and it was a shame because yes, he's a great guy. He's done so much for golf and being world #1, 6 majors. He opened the golf club that I worked at in 1991, and it's hard to sit and criticise him too much about that. You don't want to go in and say what exactly did he do wrong that week. We got thumped that week. It wasn't enjoyable. And obviously he wouldn't have found it enjoyable either. I mean, he's been, the only losing captain in a number of, winning Ryder Cups. So it'd be hard to sit and pull everything out of that week.
No, understandable. So as you say, it's been quite a journey to today, just in terms of publishing your book. Did you ever expect it to get the reaction that it has got from the PGA of America and from all sorts of people?
Well, obviously the areas of issue or not issue, it's no issue to me. I just speak openly in the book. Obviously the comment on Tom Watson wasn't disrespectful. I said it was a surprise, to see how certain selections panned out. I don't think that's derogatory. I don't think it's disrespectful. It was a comment. It was an opinion. My opinion on Faldo's comment about Sergio. I don't think that's really, I wasn't having a go at him. I was just saying I found it disrespectful, and so did a number of other people. And obviously, certain people have read the book and they have their opinions on what I've said in the book. I didn't say certain things to create certain outcomes. So I just talk openly in the book for a reason, because that's how I've been. And that's how I should be. I shouldn't hide away from certain subjects, and that would not be cool to make a book and just be completely on the fence. I mean that's not me anyway. So I give an honest opinion, and I speak my mind.
And I'm sure everyone appreciates that honesty when they are reading your book. So could we expect another book from you one day?
Who knows? I'm sure. Listen, I'm 38. I've got a lot of years left in me. I hope the first 15 have been great fun. Let's hope the next 15 are also good fun. And if that happens, then obviously I'm sure there'll be another one at some stage.
Well, so are we. We can't wait to see what comes the rest of the year.
Can't wait.
And
Let's
2015,
get it on.
There we go. A newly equipped Ian Poulter is hoping for many more chapters in his career, and so are we. Ian, thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure.